Hi class, I just wanted to take the opportunity to record a quick video providing an overview of week 4, which begins on Monday, September 20th and ends on Sunday, September 26th. Now, before I get into week 4, just a reminder about week 3. We had 2 assignments that were due at the end of week 3. Writing Center assignment number 2, which was due Sunday, September 19th, and the narrative essay, which was also due Sunday, September 19th. Now, out of the 2 of those, obviously the most important one is the narrative essay. Now, with the narrative essay, if you're going to be late with that, if you didn't turn it in by Sunday night, you can still get it in. Just be mindful of the late policy, okay, as laid out in our syllabus, because you usually get 10% off for each day it's late, and after 3 days will not be accepted. Okay, so please be mindful of that. Also, when it comes to writing center assignments, those are not accepted late. All right, so just be aware of those things if you have not turned these in yet. Now, with week 4 coming up, this is when we start to shift. We move on past narrative writing and we start to explore process writing, process analysis essays. Now, when it comes to process analysis, chapter 5 of our text covers it. There's also a video in Blackboard that complements the readings in the chapter. And basically, when it comes to the work for this week, we have the process analysis discussion board, which we'll go to in just a moment. And then we have writing center assignment number 3. Both of those assignments are due by Sunday night. Now, let's start off with the process analysis discussion board. Let's go to the discussion board area here. Now, the process analysis writing discussion board, it's really meant for us to really start thinking about this type of writing. More importantly, how might it be used? All right, because one thing that I'd like to stress in this class is the benefit of the essays that we do, the benefit of the essays that we study. So with this discussion board, what is the benefit of process analysis writing? How might this type of writing be used in your work field? Okay, either currently or the field that you're going to get into after graduation. Okay, because basically I want you, after thinking about this type of writing and doing some reading on it, I want you to think about its usefulness to you. Okay, why is this something that is a part of this class? Why is it a part of an English composition class? So I want you to think about that, provide a specific example of how it might be used. And then the second part of this discussion board prompt here is, what topic ideas do you have for your process analysis paper? All right, now process analysis, just to sum it up in a few words, basically it's like a how-to paper. Okay, how something works, how a process works, or how to do something, or so and so on. So that's really the gist of process analysis. So this is the discussion board for the week. Now, the other assignment that you have to do is writing center assignment number 3. Now let's go to the Writing Center workbook. Now, the Writing Center workbook, under assignment 3, it will be titled Sentence Styles. Now, you have to scroll through these first few pages, the cover sheet, and let's see here, blank page. The checklist, which is again really for the people checking your work, which in this case is me. So you can skip through that. And then when you get to this page, all right, where it says assignment. Now this assignment has 2 parts to it, all right? And I want to just take some time to break this down because it can be a little confusing at first when you're looking at it. But basically, again, 2 parts to it. The first part is complete the exercises for each of the 9 sentence styles that follow. You will have a total of 27 sentences. Okay, so 9 times 3, 27. So the first style is coordination with the word and. And the idea is to use the coordinating conjunction and to combine short, choppy sentences, especially those that have the same subject. All right, so an example of it. Matter of fact, they provide 3 examples of it, how it works. So she flung down her purse. She grabbed him by the neck. So when you use the coordinating conjunction to combine these short sentences, you'll come up with this one sentence. She flung down her purse and grabbed him by the neck. The same is the case with the next two sentences. Okay, they combine these sentences using coordinating conjunction and. So once you've read through those examples and see how coordinating conjunctions work, especially with and, then with the first style, you need to combine the sentences below, then write two style one sentences of your own for a total of 3. So I think the best way to really show this is to bring up a sample here. All right, so writing center assignment number 3. Let's say Jane Doe is working on this assignment. Now, again, the first style is coordination with and, coordinating conjunction and. So with the first sentence, they're providing in force. Okay, Pitt kept England in the war with dogged persistence. He worked himself to death in the process. Okay, so you have to combine these two sentences into one using the coordinating conjunction and. So I'll give you this one. This is what you will need to come up with. Pitt kept England in the war with dogged persistence and worked himself to death in the process. All right, now, again, this is the correct answer, so to speak, because, again, you're taking those two sentences, much like with the examples, and you are combining them using the coordinating conjunction and. So after doing that for the first sentence here, then the next two sentences, you'll need to think of your own sentences to combine using the coordinating conjunction and. So for instance, with me here, for number 2, Bill went to class and I'll leave an underline in here, and proceeded to answer every question asked. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I'm using the coordinating conjunction and to combine Bill went to class, he proceeded to answer every question asked. Okay, so basically I combined those two into one. Bill went to class and proceeded to answer every question he asked. So you need to do that for number 3 as well. Okay, think of two sentences and then combine them into one. So it may be something along these lines. And I'll even type the original sentences. Okay, so Mary saw her friend perform. She clapped loudly when she ended. So the combined sentence would be, I'll put it at the bottom here. Mary saw her friend perform and she clapped loudly when she ended. So this is what you have to do with style 1, especially the last two sentences. Basically, it's thinking of two sentences that you can combine into one using the coordinating conjunction and, much like I did with number 3 here. All right, so that's style 1. Now, style 2 deals with semicolons. Same idea. They're giving you the first, and we'll scroll down here further. Okay, so with this, it says use style 2 to combine the sentences below. Then write two sentences of your own. So again, you're going to have a total of 3 sentences. So they give us these 2 sentences to combine for the first one. William exposed the heartbeat of history. McCarthy revealed the material flowing in history's veins. Okay, so let's go back here. Oops. So with this, we combine the 2 sentences. William exposed the heartbeat of history, semicolon, McCarthy revealed the material flowing in history's veins. All right, so after this, then we have to come up with 2 sentences that use the semicolon, okay, that are combined using the semicolon, much like what you see with number 1 here. So that's what you have to do for each of the styles. All right, let's go back. Let's see, style 3, list of actions. Okay, so pay attention to the examples that they provide, because that gives you an idea of what you need to do, for each of these styles. So for instance, with list of actions, they've got an example, the first example here, she walked in, that's one action. She removed her coat, second action. She sat down, third action. So when you're combining them, these list of actions, you're going to use commas and use and. So she walked in, comma, removed her coat, comma, and sat down. Now, all 3 of these things are actions that are being performed by the subject. All right, so they give 3 examples of this. And then with style 3, you need to, much like with the other 2 styles, combine the sentences below and then write 2 style 3 sentences of your own. Okay, so this is going to be the case for each of these styles. And we'll keep going down here. I believe, again, there's a total of 9 of them. And with each of these styles, especially when you get towards the end, because style 9 can be tricky. Okay, parentheticals can be tricky, so definitely review that with extra caution, because you want to just make sure that you understand how they are used. All right, so those are the 9 styles that you'll have to do for part 1. Now with part 2, okay, part 2 here. Okay, now with part 2, you have to type 1 or 2 sentences, 1 or 2 paragraphs about your experience in English 111 so far and or the Writing Center so far. All right. Most of you will probably just do it on English 111 because you really haven't dealt with the Writing Center per se as much. So again, type 1 or 2 paragraphs about your experience in English 111 up to this point. And in the paragraphs, use at least 7 of the 9 sentence styles that this unit explains, and then indicate the style number after the sentences. All right, so let's go back to our document here. All right, and I'll just kind of indicate that this is part 1. And then after all the styles, we'll say part 2. So with part 2, you have to write, again, 1 to 2 paragraphs just explaining your experience with English 111. What's your take on it so far? And then in those paragraphs, use at least 7 of the 9 sentence styles. So they can be any of the 7, any 7 that you can pick, that makes sense. For instance, you might have one that uses the coordinating conjunction and. You might have another one that uses a semicolon, and so forth. So that's what you do for this second part. And at the end of each sentence, you indicate what sentence style it is. So for instance, if you have a sentence like this, let's see. Okay, so with this first sentence here, so far I've enjoyed my time in English 111, semicolon, it has proven to be a little easier than I thought. So with that first sentence here, let's go back up and look at the style. Now in this case, it would be style 2. So we'll put that here at the end. Style 2. All right. So you do it for each sentence in your paragraph. Okay, each sentence that represents a specific style. For instance, if the next style, maybe you'll have a list of actions, or you'll have a colon in a list, or some of the other styles that were mentioned in part 1. So that's the idea behind part two. Okay, write again 1 to 2 paragraphs describing your experience in English 111 up to this point, and indicating what sentence style you're using for each sentence. So that's pretty much it with writing center assignment number 3. Now, again, if you have any more questions about this, you can definitely contact me over the course of the week, to ask for additional clarification. But I hope that this video gives you an idea of what this is asking us to do, because it is kind of complicated the way that it is laid out in our Writing Center workbook. All right, so again, that's it when it comes to the work that we have to do for week 4. That discussion board that we talked about, Writing Center assignment number 3. Both of those, again, are due Sunday, September 26th. And one final thing before I let you go for this video is I would start looking at the essay itself. Okay, it's never too early to start thinking about it. It's really not due for quite a while, but still, it's good to think ahead. So with process analysis essay, these are the directions for it. And I've also got a video that explains the process of writing the essay a little bit more in depth. All right, so I just wanted to bring this to your attention. I'll probably come back to this next week when I record the video for the start of week 5. All right, so that's it. Again, as always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, do not hesitate to get a hold of me. Other than that, let's have a great week 4.